behalf of our university, our players, our fans back in Wisconsin, we're really excited about the opportunity to be here in Providence. Obviously a rich tradition of hockey, and we're looking forward to the opportunity. It's been a while since we played, so we can't wait for Friday to get here, and look forward to the opportunity to try and get into our third season here and make some noise. So we're excited to be here.
Thanks, Coach. Questions for Mike and Matthew. Please, when you raise your hand, please, when called upon, tell us who you are and where you're from.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin State Journal. Matty, the day before for regional was, I wonder if you can just kind of sum it up for us, what it's like from a player's perspective. Didn't really have the full experience in 2021 because of the COVID protocols and everything. What's day been like? What's tonight going to be like as you get ready for a game like this?
Yeah, just a lot of prep, some meetings, video sessions. It was nice that we got in here yesterday, get acclimated to the time change, good night of sleep, and got to get our work in today for an hour out there, get used to the ice sheet, get used to the locker room. So getting the feel for it that way, and then just head back to the hotel, reset, get a nice dinner on us beforehand, and yeah, get ready for tomorrow.
And maybe Matt, if you want to to the experience you had from a couple of seasons ago in the tournament about how to start a game and maybe how not to start a game in the NCAA tournament. How much does that sit with you? How much can you draw on that to be at your best tomorrow at the start?
Yeah, I think definitely sits with you for a little bit, but kind of move past it. But now that we're here again, you look back on that experience and kind of remember how important the start of the game is. We always talk about the first 5 minutes. So I think just for our group, getting out there and making sure we kind of set our identity right away is huge for us. And I think we've got the right group to do that. I think we're going to do that.
Mike and Matthew, why don't you talk a little bit about the Quinnipiac Bobcats and what you're expecting to see from them?
Yeah, they're a really good team, obviously defending champions. We've done a good amount of research on them, just very structured team, well coached. I know a couple guys on that team, so yeah, they seem to bring it every night, and we're excited for the challenge.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off of what Maddie said, team's got a lot of success previously. I think they're a great program. I got to respect that. This time of the year, I think it's really comes down to just kind of anyone can play with anyone. Just trying to bring the effort and attitude and respecting what they can bring, and then bringing what we got all year. I think that's big for us.
Brian from the Badger Sports Network. Has your team played its best hockey this season, or what more is there that you guys can do?
Yeah, I think definitely we've shown it. But again, I still think we have another level, and we kind of shown that in practice the last couple of weeks. I think we do a really good job of pushing each other, and when this team is all pushing in the right direction, we're playing for each other. Yeah, I think that we're a special group.
Eli Ehlers, Q30 Sports. This can be for either of you guys. Knowing that you're playing a team who just came off a national championship last year, how exciting is that for you guys to be able to be the team potentially end in a run?
Yeah, playing at Wisconsin, this is kind of the standard. You want to be here. This is why you come to Wisconsin. So coming here and getting to play Quinnipiac, that's a big-time game, and we kind of relish that. This group loves that. So for us, I think it's just another opportunity and something we want to take full advantage of.
Gage Kilborn, Q30 Sports. This one's for Matthew. You're a Connecticut native. How does it feel like to play your first-round game against a team from your home state?
Yeah, no, it's good you pointed that out. It's really cool. It's great that I'll have some family coming up to support. Yeah, I actually went to a couple of Quinnipiac games growing up. A lot of games out east growing up, college hockey games. My dad was bringing me to a lot of those, so fortunate enough to get that experience. And yeah, it's really cool just being on the East Coast again. It's where I grew up, so yeah, it feels good.
Matt, it's the same layoff you had before the Milwaukee Tournament. We saw how you guys played through that experience. got a championship there. People were talking about how you could use that as kind of a preparation for this point. How much do you feel that's the case now that you're here, that you're in this environment? Is there anything that compares there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, having that 2 weeks off is definitely nice for guys that are a little banged up, to hit that reset button. And as a team, just getting a little break and then coming back, going to work with a fresh mind. So just, yeah, I think it's really good, and I think we did a good job of using it to our advantage.
Any other questions for Mike and Matthew?
For Mike. What's it like out there? Anything unusual in this rink or anything you have to get used to? Because you use this hour that you have on the ice for a reason to try and get used to it. Anything you've found that you have to be aware of in here?
Yeah, I think it's just like any other away series in the Big Ten. Come in, get used to the sheet, obviously, get used to the boards. I think the group adjusted to that as practice went on. I think we got some good work in, and I think the guys will be ready for it.
Mike and Matthew, thanks for joining us. We'll take it back to the locker room.
Thank you.
Thanks. Questions for Mike?
Like, what's this day like for a coach? You've got to run through a practice, but can you kind of give us some background of what you do, what you try to do on the ice, or have them away from, or anything like that, and trying to get their minds and bodies ready for tomorrow?
You know what, these guys, most of the players are creatures of habit. And we were fortunate from this standpoint. Our week set up Monday through, Wednesday we had travel, but we were able to have 3 and then get here, skate, and now we're going to play tomorrow night. So it's not a long way away from what their normal Thursday is on a weekend when you're traveling. And so for us on Thursdays throughout the year, the majority of the practice is canned, and what I mean by that is it's repeated. From start, we'll do some different things, X's and O's, but for the most part, what we're doing on a Thursday is pretty consistent. At this time of the year and at this time of the week, you don't want them thinking, you want them playing. And so from our standpoint, it's getting the guys comfortable, like Mike just said, and what Maddie was discussing earlier is just getting used to the rink a little bit. Background, black seats, pucks being lost a little bit in the glass, just because you got to understand some nuances of the rink. But at the end of the day, it's the game of hockey. The guys have been going at this since the beginning of October. I think they're really excited with our layoff to have an opportunity to drop the puck tomorrow.
Mike, you and Rand Eggwell met previously back in 2021. Can you talk about that game in the NCAA Tournament that year and some of the takeaways from that?
Yeah, they put it on us early. They came out, and I think Rand. It's well known. He's a detailed guy. Their team's detailed. They're good in special teams. One of the better face-off teams that I've seen on tape. Anything that's within their control, they try to cross the T and dot the I's. And so they're going to come out running downhill. And so you've got to be able to withstand a punch. You've got to be able to withstand some adversity. And then you've got to play with confidence. We stuck with that game, and the reason we ended up being on the end result of a win is because we stuck around and we stayed with it. And at this time of the year, you're going to be tested that way, whether you're playing with a lead or you're playing from behind. So it was a great battle back when we played them last, but this is completely different. 2 new teams. 2 of the same old coaches going at it, but at the end of the day, the players are going to go out and decide what happens.
Brian, mostly Badger Sports Network. Can you gauge the level of confidence your team has right now?
You know what? As all year, when you've been around a little bit, I don't think we've ever gotten to an arrogant standpoint where we've just thought things were going to get done. There's been times I think we've wandered on our attention to detail, but I don't think it's a confidence issue. I think it's us going out and having an opportunity to get to our game as quick as we can. Trying to, as the guy said earlier, we'll focus on our first 5 minutes and then go play. Take what comes to us and make sure that we're stressing the other team out as much as we can and play together when we don't have that puck. And we've done a good job of that when we've been good. And when we haven't, we've been a little bit less than ourselves. But I know the guys are excited about having this opportunity and go out and play as well as they can.
Mike, Bill Koch with Providence Journal. You're drawn in the region with the #1 overall seed who's playing driving distance from home. I wonder what you anticipate the environment in the building to be. Do you feel like it'll be maybe a different buzz, a different sort of intensity level with BC playing before you?
It'll be interesting to see what happens, how many decide to either go get a beer or a coffee or something in between after the game, or if they're going to stick around and watch a little bit more hockey. I've just found in these regional environments, and we've had different from COVID to, where you've gone in and there haven't been many people around, to other opportunities where the building's been full and there's been a lot of juice in the building. And so for us right now, we're focused on Quinnipiac, but I do believe you'll see if what I saw happen the last time BC played, they had quite a few people watching them. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the building, and we'll just see if they stick around for our game.
They paid for the ticket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Mike LaRocca, the Quinnipiac Chronicle. Sort of going off of that, do you have any strong opinions one way or the other on keeping the NCAA Regionals at a neutral site or bringing them back onto campus?
If you follow Twitter or any other social media piece, there's a lot of talk about that. Being a little bit on the other side of the docket as far as being older than younger, I've experienced, I remember the days when they were on campus. And then now having the regionals where they're at, I'm open to discussion. I will tell you, I've been fortunate this year to be involved in games, whether it's at Yost Arena and there's 6,000 or in our own building where there's 15 plus. To me, we want them attended. This is about as exciting a sport as you can see live as any other sport that I've been able to go and watch. And so to me, us being able to be in environments where they're going to be heavily attended and give the committee the opportunity to allow that to happen. Most importantly, the people we're talking about, other than the fans that are paying the freight to come and watch, the student-athlete experience. And I can tell you this, whether we were at home in front of 15, very exciting, or we were on the road and the place was sold out, exciting. The guys just want to play. They want to play in that type of environment. So for me, I'm open to discussion on what is best for the student athlete and what we can do to continue to progress our sport. Because I still to this day have not found somebody that has come and walked through a door and watched a hockey game in a semi-full building that haven't walked out and said, you know what, boy, I'd like to do that again. So if we can do that to continue to grow our sport, I think we're doing best, not only for the student athlete, but for the growth of our sport also.
Well said.
Michael, do you draw back on the Milwaukee Tournament at all at this point in trying to get back up to speed? As we talked about, those first 5 minutes will be big. And after a layoff, after being in a different environment like you were in Milwaukee, how you can do that? Is that a model for your players at all?
It feels a little bit of the same. We've discussed it for two reasons: similarity in the time frame. And then I thought the guys managed it very well and went out and were successful. If we've never gone through that experience, it's hard to say, hey, guys, we're going to be okay here. I do think drawing from that experience should give the young men some confidence in that, hey, we've managed that before from a conditioning standpoint, from a health standpoint, and then from focusing on the opportunity to play two different teams. Now, we were playing two games regardless in that tournament. It's not so much here. We've got to take care of the first one. But I do think there's a perspective there that we've done that before, and I think the guys have managed it just as they did when we went to Milwaukee.
Mike, I asked Rand this, and I would ask you the same. You built a program previously that not only could reach the NCAA tournament, but could win games in the field. I wonder just what the difference is between developing a group that can get there and then developing a group that can actually do some damage in the field?
I think a lot of it is just the experience piece. Like, when Rand got there the first time, I don't think he won the tournament. It took a while, right? Development is, I can't tell you exactly what it says in the dictionary, but I believe there's a time element to that. It doesn't just happen. And so, to me, the one thing that's been great, we've seen guys that have come through the developmental phase of college hockey that have come in and you look at Macklin Celebrini. I don't think he's going to be, for college hockey and Boston University, is he going to be back there? Maybe. Probably not. Right? So there's a one and done, but we've seen story after story of stories when you have 2, 3, 4-year athletes that have come to programs and been successful and been a part of building the program and then use that experience to put them in a position to go and be successful at the National Hockey League level. They're shopping a lot more at our store, right? They're looking for the athletes that come out of this sport in the collegiate side of it because they're prepared. They're fed well, they're trained, they're conditioned, and I do think that happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but I think you're seeing a rebirth, a little bit of post what we went through in the pandemic. There's a lot of good hockey teams right now. There's some people that are sour that they're not in this field because they believe they should have been a part of it. And all of a sudden there's people talking, prognosticators, interested fans that are saying, should we expand the field? More people to get this experience, the better.
Great answer. Mike, in our never-ending quest to find out more about the leaders of these great hockey programs, can you give us a Mike Hastings fun fact that we would not find in your bio or in any article?
Boy, you know what? Not a lot of secrets. I guess at the end of the day, and I'll use Rand, I'll use somebody like David Quinn, who's from the East Coast and now is in San Jose, and Jimmy Montgomery and his path. There is no magic path to how you get to where you want to get to. Whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, an assistant coach, the support that the universities right now are giving people like myself, the student athletes, everybody that's involved, they're giving you a platform to develop, and then it's up to us to do it. So really from my side, no, 3 years ago I wouldn't have believed I'm at the University of Wisconsin and being blessed to have this opportunity. Also tell you, 12 years ago, I didn't think I'd be at MSU. You just never know. You take what's in front of you and you try to get as much out of that as you possibly can, and it's the same thing we're asking these young guys to do on a daily basis. So I think it's a pretty unique sport, and very happy to have an opportunity to be doing what I'm doing where I'm doing it.